Welcome to the third video of this series, How to Play Scales Fast on the Piano. Playing scales with speed and velocity enables you, the pianist, to play with ease, evenness, clarity, and with musical expression. The mastery of all the major scales and the three forms of all the minor scales is incredibly important. Not only does it help with general finger technique and fast playing, but it also helps with playing in a slow, lyrical style, and it's indispensable with decisions about fingering your music. Because the thumb is shorter and heavier than our other fingers, it's necessary to understand that the thumb is what often hinders our ability to play fast. The thumb will also accent notes that are not intended to be accented, so we must train the thumb to move quickly and lightly so we're able to play with distinct dexterity and control. All scales, major and minor, consist of the thumb passing under the third finger and the thumb passing under the fourth finger. In other words, there are two different positionings in all scales. In the first two videos of this tutorial series, I demonstrated exercises that train the thumb to move quickly and lightly under the third and fourth fingers. Now we will begin to train the thumb to stabilize the hand as the fingers move from one positioning to the next positioning. This is one of the basic ingredients of fast playing. Just a reminder, this video series is not going to teach you the fingering of the scales or the theory behind the scales. This video series is going to provide you with unique finger exercises that will reinforce learning the scales and also unleash a tremendous amount of ability, finger development, and fast, controlled playing. So let's get started. Let's look at the C major scale. In the first two videos, we talked about what I call the 2-3 position and the 2-3-4 position. In the C major scale, the thumb plays C and F. Place your thumb on F. This is one place where you transfer from one position to the next in the C scale. Check your wrist. It's impossible to play fast with a low wrist. You want to keep your wrist high. Check your knuckles. Be sure that your knuckles are tall, not caved in, because it's impossible to play fast if your knuckles are caved in. Keep them tall. Check your fingers. Be sure that your fingers are rounded and not flat and not caved in like that. And again, it's impossible to play fast if your fingers are not rounded. We have to prepare our hands to play on the tip of each finger. Now, next, we'll begin to shift our hand from one positioning to the other, using the thumb to stabilize the hand. Play the F with your thumb and hold. Move your hand quickly back and forth between the 2-3 position and the 2-3-4 position. Pause your fingers when they are placed over the correct keys. You do not want to reach with your fingers at all like this. That's wrong. You want to make sure that your fingers just remain still as your thumb is shifting your hand. Next, check your elbow. You don't want your elbow to swing out to give your fingers in your hand assistance in moving. It's only going to slow you down. Keep your elbow still and shift silently, just like this, for 8 repetitions. And be sure that you do not rush this pause. Now, we'll play the notes of each grouping as a block. Play staccato, and let that staccato movement carry you to the next positioning. Then wait a moment before you play the next grouping. The same things still apply. You don't want to reach with your fingers like that. Keep your fingers still as your hand is being shifted by the thumb. Check your elbow. You don't want your elbow to swing out. Keep it still. And again, you want to do this at least 8 times. We'll go one more time. Continue to check your form at all times. Next, we're going to do this entire sequence with your thumb on C. Play your C. And we want our 2-3 position to be here on D and E, and our 2-3-4 position on GAB, back and forth. Pause. Let your whole hand shift. Don't reach with your fingers. Keep your elbow still. Try to make your fingers go directly over the correct notes so that you're not searching for those notes. And now, the staccato motion. Wait before you play the next grouping. Let the staccato movement carry you to that next positioning. The same things apply. Don't reach with your fingers. Your fingers remain still as your hand is being shifted by the thumb. Check your elbow. Keep your elbow still. You don't want to let it swing out. And again, you're going to do this at least 8 times. We'll go one more time. Good work. So here's an example on how to apply this exercise to another scale. Let's take E major. E major has 4 sharps: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. So now your 2-3 position is F sharp and G. Your thumb will play A, and then your 2-3-4 position is B, C sharp, and D sharp. Place your thumb on A and silently back and forth between your 2-3 and your 2-3-4 position. Try to get your fingers to these positionings without searching for the notes or searching for the shape. Make sure your wrist remains tall and that your fingers aren't reaching for the notes and that your elbow is still. And now for the staccato. That movement helps you to catapult to the next positioning. Check your elbow. Remember the pause. Check your fingers. One more. Very good. So now let's continue to the left hand. In a C major scale, the left hand thumb plays G and C. Place your thumb on G. This is one place where you transfer from the 2-3 position to the 2-3-4 position in the C scale. Check your wrist to be sure it's tall and high. You don't want your wrist to be low. Check your knuckles. You want your knuckles to be tall and not caved in. Check your fingers. You want your fingers to be rounded and not caved in. You want to prepare your hand to play on the tip of each finger. Next, we'll begin to shift our hand from one positioning to the other, using the thumb to stabilize the hand. Play the G and hold. Move your hand quickly back and forth between the 2-3 and the 2-3-4 positions. Pause your fingers when they are placed over the correct keys. You don't want to reach with your fingers like this. Your fingers remain still as your hand is being shifted by the thumb. And check your elbow. It should remain still. You don't want to swing your elbow out to help your hand move. You don't want that. Elbow remains still, fingers remain still. Shift silently like this for 8 times. One more. Now we'll play the notes of each grouping as a block. Play staccato. Let that movement carry you to the next positioning. Then wait a moment before you play the next grouping. The same things apply. You don't want to reach with your fingers, none of this. You want your fingers to remain still as your hand is being shifted by the thumb. Check your elbow. You don't want your elbow to swing out. Keep it still. We'll do one more. You'd want to do this 8 times. Continue to check your form at all times. Now we're going to do the entire sequence with your thumb on C. Silently back and forth between the 2-3 position, which is D and E, and your 2-3-4 position, which is G, A, B. Back and forth, making sure that your wrist remains tall, that your knuckles are tall, that your fingers are strong and curved. Don't move your fingers. It's your hand that moves, and your hand is being shifted by your thumb. Now we'll begin playing the staccato. Check your fingers, keeping them still. Your hand is being shifted by the thumb. Your elbow is still. Use the staccato motion to catapult your hand to the next positioning. Keep it strong. We'll do one more. Good work. Next, let's talk about the E-flat scale. The E-flat scale has B-flat, E-flat, and A-flat. Of course, it begins on E-flat. This is E-flat major. And our thumb is going to end up on G, with our 4th finger going over on A-flat. And then our thumb ends up on D, and then our 3rd finger back over. We're going to place our thumb on G. Our 2-3-4 position is A-flat, B-flat, C. And our 2-3 position is E-flat, F. Back and forth. Checking a tall wrist, tall fingers, tall knuckles. Move your fingers quickly and shift from one positioning to the other. It's your thumb that is stabilizing your hand. Back and forth. Don't reach with your fingers. And don't swing your elbow out. We'll do one more. And now let's begin the staccato motion. Playing as a block. Let the movement carry you to the next positioning, and then wait a moment before you play the next grouping. All the same things apply. You don't want to reach with your fingers. Your fingers remain still as your hand is being shifted by the thumb. Keep your elbow still. Don't let it swing out. We'll do one more. now in the E flat scale, our thumb falls also on D. Remember, our 2, 3, 4 position is A flat, B flat, and C. And our 2, 3 position is E flat and F. Play your D and shift silently back and forth. Here's our 2, 3 position, and here's our 2, 3, 4 position. Shift quickly, but pause right after you get over the notes. You don't want to rush this process at all. Check your wrist, knuckles, fingers. Make sure your hand is shifting back and forth because of your thumb, and that your fingers are not moving, and that your elbow is not moving. And now staccato motions, back and forth. Let the motion from the staccato catapult you to the next positioning. Your hand is what's moving because your thumb is shifting back and forth. We'll do 2 more. There's 1. And here's the last one. That was awesome work. You are going to begin to see remarkable results. You can use the metronome with your scales, increasing the tempo in very small increments. I'll demonstrate this in the next video. So thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe so you receive all the latest training, teaching, and performance videos.